Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think anyone had this on their 2025 bingo card. I mean, what I'm about to show you just sounds so goofy at first glance, but you know, once you actually look into it, it's not that cool. But just the headline alone is like, what? What are we doing here? Ancient Egyptian curse may actually be the cure for cancer. The Pharaoh's curse, or like the curse of Ra, they have found might actually be a potential cure for a potential cancer. So if anyone's curious, what the Pharaoh's curse is whenever, you know, like grave robbers or the original people who found the tomb would spontaneously, surprisingly, fall ill and in many cases die immediately after, or like, you know, shortly after actually uncovering the tomb. And this was not an uncommon thing. It was like in most, if not all situations, there were a good amount of people who lived, but there were also a really big number of people who died, which is actually a statement that you should dispute if someone tells you that, because they're actually lying to you. A study showed that of the 58 people who were present whenever the tomb and sarcophagus were opened, only 8 died within a dozen years. All of the others were still alive, including Howard Carter, who died of lymphoma in 1939 at the age of 64. The last survivors included a bunch of people who was among the first people into the tomb after its discovery in November 1922, who lived a further 57 years and died in 1980. So, you know, the Pharaoh's curse isn't that bad, but it's really bad. It's the Pharaoh's curse. If you get it, it'll kill you. If you go into the grave, it'll kill you and you will die. And that's all that we need to worry about for the purpose of this video. Don't actually look up how bad the Pharaoh's curse actually was. Just take my word, it was really bad. It was really bad. And it was like always people who went into these grave sites. And it also wasn't just like Egyptian grave sites, although, you know, it's famously known for Egyptian grave sites. There were also other like medieval sites that were dug into, and then people also like got what was the Pharaoh's curse from entering them. But basically, the Pharaoh's curse itself is it's fungus. You know, as these things commonly are. Specifically in this scenario, it's a fungus called Aspergillus flavus, or maybe, is it Aspergillus? Wait a second. Okay, no, I was right. It's Aspergillus flavus. This fungus actually isn't like super uncommon. It's actually like all over the place. I mean, if you look right here on the Wikipedia page, I know this is the second time I'm citing Wikipedia in this video already, but frankly, I trust Wikipedia a lot more than I trust a lot of things. They cite their sources so much more than everywhere else I go does, but that's not what we're here to talk about. You know, it's best known for colonizing cereal grains, legumes, tree nuts, and you know, it's like commonly, where is it? Down here it says something about it being in dirt or something. Yeah, there it is. It's in soils, causes disease on many important agriculture crops. This is a pretty common fungus that just so happened to be really common in these ancient tombs. But what was recently found, Penn engineers turned toxic fungus into an anti-cancer compound, is that these fungus have their ribosomes, which are in all of your cells, have a organelle called a ribosome, which builds proteins. And proteins can be scary things. There are some crazy things that proteins can do. For example, if you're not, you know, scared enough at all times, what you're looking at right now on screen is this is a prion. And if anyone doesn't know what a prion is a misfolded protein. It is just a regular protein that was folded wrong. And what proteins normally do is they like to link up and they like to transfer information, you know, across. And what prions do is a prion will link with another protein and mess it up too. So now this prion misfolded this prion, and we now have 2 prions. And a really fun thing about prions is that our bodies, you know, or a lot of bodies, aren't really equipped to deal with prions. You know, normally our bodies keep proteins and hang on to them, and prions they're not living, they're not alive, they are just things that just absolutely demolish your proteins. If anyone knows or has heard about like something like mad cow's disease or chronic wasting disease, this is caused by prions. And another fun thing about proteins is that because they're not alive, when they're on a dead animal, they don't die. They stay there. And they can stay for a long time. I'm pretty sure, actually, let me fact check this before I say it. Yeah. Prions are pretty powerful. In general, prions are quite resistant to what the heck is this? Heat, ionizing radiation, and formaldehyde treatments. Well, okay, what was this? an enzyme that catalyzes proteolysis, breaking down proteins into smaller polypeptides. Okay, so yeah, they're resistant to being broken down by other things. Radiation and formaldehyde. You know, prions are fun. Prions are fun. We're not here to talk about proteins though. We're here to talk about things that your ribosomes make, which in you is generally just proteins. But in this situation, this fungus, their ribosomes create a kind of a different thing. They call it a RIP, R-I-P-P. It's a little modified peptide that comes in certain rings. And basically what they have found that these can do is that whenever they're modified slightly, these little RIPs can be injected into a specifically a leukemial cancer cell. They tried it with a bunch of other cells and it kind of just worked with leukemia. And it just kind of prevents the cells from duplicating, which functionally renders the cancer dead because those cells will die out without duplicating, and then the cancer will be gone. And this is whenever the story kind of breaks down into not as cool anymore, because as fun as it would be to say the curse of Ra has the potential to cure cancer, it is just a really, it's a pretty slim potential, because one of the really fun things about this method, and you know, this is not like a super uncommon or new method of killing cancer cells as far as I'm aware, or really cells in general, you know, is that in often a lot of cases, it doesn't just affect the cancer cells, it also affects just regular cells, because it impedes a normal cell's ability to duplicate. But of course, I mean, progress is progress, and if just another drop in the bucket of curing certain cancers, and then eventually all cancers, is always a good thing. And hey, if the Curse of Ra itself does eventually lead to a cure for cancer, that sounds really fun to me. That sounds quite fun for me, and I'm all for it. And I am hoping that this works out. Not because I want cancer to be cured. I do want cancer to be cured. I would like to not misconstrue myself. But I specifically want this one to be the one that works, because I want the Curse of Ra to be what cures cancer. Anyways, that's all. Fun situation. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.